Hey guys, hope you're doing good. So, in today's video, I have something pretty special to share with y'all, but I always gotta make sure the vibe is right. Gotta have a candle. I gotta have the All-In podcast playing in the background. So, today's video, or the reason why I had to make this video is because the other day, or the other night, I couldn't fall asleep because I was trying to figure out why it's so hard to actually scale a Facebook ad agency. Right? For those who don't know, I run clientacquisition.io. It's a company that scales service-based businesses, and a lot of our clients are clients who are running advertising agencies, marketing agencies, and I need to understand their problems better than they do themselves. Because if I can do that, then I can build solutions that help them solve their pain, right? And the other night, I was just trying to figure out a way to simplify, and figure out the root cause of their failure. Right? And I came up with this analogy, right? Using car companies. And in today's video, I want to share with you the fact, my opinion, which is I personally believe that launching a Facebook ad agency is the worst thing you can do. Whether you're a beginner or an expert, okay? And you'll have probably noticed that the only people who are actually making money with Facebook ad agencies are people telling other people to start Facebook ad agencies. Right? Look around you. Literally take a moment, take a step back, okay? Go into the Facebook group that you're part of. Go look at the last 10 people who've shared revenue numbers over 50K to 6 figures per month. Go on their profile, look at what they're selling. It's a funny thing, and I know people will actually relate to this because I've been there. I've been the guy who's bought courses from, I won't say their names, but you guys know who I'm talking about. They're all the same people. There are only like a few guys who are pushing this thing. I used to struggle, I used to look at people who are killing it. Guys would come in the group weekly and share like, hey, I just made 30K this week. Oh, I just signed an extra 5-figure deal. I'm like, how are these guys doing it when I can't even book a sales call, right? It took me 9 months to sign my first client, guys. Right? It's ridiculous, right? But I kept seeing these guys wins on wins on wins, and I was looking at their profile and I was like, well, this guy, he's doing consulting while also claiming that he runs a Facebook ad agency, right? And I ended up figuring out that these guys are not actually running their agencies. They're just, teaching other people or consulting them or coaching them, right? But that's beside the point. My goal with this video is not necessarily to tell you, hey, ditch running an agency and start a consulting business. No, that's not the case, because you can't even start a consulting business if you've never done shit in your life, right? So, unless you want to scam people, cool, then go scam people. If your morals, if you don't have morals and, you don't have a moral compass and you can just scam people, cool, do that. If that's, I don't really judge people for what they do. I just have principles, right? But anyway, at the end of this video, you'll understand. My goal is to give you the understanding, the principle, or the foundational understanding you need to make any service-based offer work, okay? And if you're interested, I have a 3-hour training webinar going over how to launch and scale an agency past 50K per month using more trendy offers. So if you want to win easily or with less friction than you currently are with your current offer, then check out the training. It's really good. It's a banger, as I like to call it, okay? So let's get started. So the analogy or the explanation, in order for me to explain this thing, I'm going to be comparing starting a Facebook ad agency to starting another Toyota company, right? And I'm going to be comparing Toyota versus Porsche, and to help you understand it, okay? So if we look at Toyotas, right? Or Toyota as a company, or any other car company that sells, like cars to everyday people, okay? Toyota as a company, the only thing they're offering is utility, right? Their main benefits or sales arguments are, hey, we'll give you a car that will take you from point A to point B, right? That's the main outcomes they're offering. And you'll also go from point A to point B in a cost-effective manner, right? So your car won't be consuming as much, right? So you'll be saving money on gas. I drive a 663S AMG. I probably spend over $1,000 on gas alone. Okay, so I'm for sure not the ideal customer for Toyota, a Prius or a Corolla, right? But if we were to look at Porsche does not sell cars for utility at all. Like Porsche will never come to you and be like, hey, please give us 6 figures or $250,000 so you can go from point A to point B, right? I know a lot of people are like, oh, but you just buy a car from point A to point B. Like, why would you spend 6 figures or $1 million on a car, right? Well, like, hey, let me tell you this. In life, people do not care about utility. People care about experience, right? If you want to make millions of dollars, I'm getting ahead of myself, but stop selling utility, right? Porsche sells the following things. They sell the following benefits, outcomes. They sell status. When you go to the Porsche dealership and you get a Porsche after spending 100 grand, 150K, $250,000 on a car, you're not just buying a car that will get you from point A to point B. You're buying status. When you drop that Porsche key, that 911 key on the table when you're at dinner, people know you're heavy, okay? Just the same thing as, wearing a Richard Mille, right? People, when they see that, they're like, okay, this person is different, okay? Or when you go to the grocery store and you pull up in a $250,000 car just to go buy milk, people see you a little differently. They see you as if you're like a superstar, right? So Porsche sells that, and they sell experience, right? For me, when I drive my AMG, I'm not like, I get something that's way more than just going from point A to point B. I go from point A to point B excited. I get dopamine, I get adrenaline, I get, oh my God, like, I'm not sure if you guys have ever driven a car with 500 horses or with a lot of power, but it changes your mood, right? So when you buy cars like these, luxurious and, cars that have great, handling and a lot of horses, you're buying an experience while you go from point A to point B, okay? Now, how hard do you think Toyota has to work to sell their cars, right? When all they offer is, hey, we'll get you from point A to point B, and we'll also help you save on gas, right? To be honest, I don't even know how they even make. They're the second most valuable, or they has the highest market cap, funny enough. Toyota is after Tesla. But I don't really, I'm not saying the company Toyota is bad, right? Toyota has built an amazing brand, right? So they've gone from just selling utility to building a brand, so people will just do business with them regardless, right? But what I'm trying to explain is, as a Facebook ad agency owner, you're just offering utility, right? You don't have a brand. So if no one knows you, you can't just use the excuse, because a lot of objection that people may have while watching this video is the fact that, oh, but Toyota is the second, biggest car company, car manufacturer. Well, yeah, but they only are the second one because they've built a brand. But right now, me and you, or you who are struggling, you don't have a brand. So don't look at the fact that they're the second biggest manufacturer, right? Let's look at the stuff that they're actually offering benefits wise, right? How hard do you think it is for you to go to the marketplace and be like, hey, I'll sell you a car that takes you from point A to point B and while saving on gas, right? Almost every single car company on the face of the planet offers to get you from point A to point B while saving gas, right? Look at Nissan, Mazdas, Toyotas, Pontiacs, Ford. They literally all have a car that can offer those outcomes, right? So they're all competing. They literally have to fight over each single customer, right? Now, the advantage of car companies is that when someone has done business with a car company, they tend to stay loyal to that company, right? That's how they're able to scale, right? Because the repeat purchase is crazy. But funny enough, people who buy Toyotas and Corollas and Priuses, they only buy a car on average every 7 years, right? So it's not like there is a crazy throughput or like the purchase rate is not that high, right? But look at Porsche, right? People who buy Porsches don't just buy one Porsche every 7 years, right? They'll literally order like 3 Porsches all at once, right? They'll get the new electric one, they'll probably get a Macan, right? And they'll probably get a GT3. And when that GT3 comes, they'll probably order the new GT3 RS, right? Why? Because they're trying to get every single experience from every single car offers, right? They're trying to get something more than just go from point A to point B. So what ends up happening is, even though Porsche sells less cars, they end up being almost as valuable as Toyota, when Toyota does 3 times, 5x, to be honest, I don't even know the number of volume that they push out, but Porsche will make more with less, almost as much with a lot less, right? And that's what I'm trying to get at, right? What you need to focus on, right, is you need to figure out a way to become Porsche, right? You need to stop being just another car company that offers to get someone from point A to point B, because you're already competing with millions and millions of other companies. So check this out. Because I have this thing that I had written down, so I'm reading right now, but check this out. When you launch a Facebook ad agency, you're essentially launching a basic offering and only offering utility. And it's not that utility is not important. It's simply the fact that there are thousands of people offering the same basic CAS mechanisms and benefits as you, right? So when you're doing cold calls or you're cold outreach, or you don't end up getting any answer, right? Because the prospect that you're reaching out to is being bombarded every single day with someone saying, hey, I can scale your brand to 6 and 7 figures with Facebook ad. Right? Like there's literally nothing exciting about what you're offering to the marketplace, right? Now, in order for you to actually get out of this, red ocean, right? Or stay in it while being the biggest shark in the red ocean, you have really 2 options, right? Option number 1 is create a personal brand through educational content and get people to buy into you before they buy into your service, just like I'm doing, right? Me making this video, the reason why I'm making this video, it's Saturday, it's 8 p.m. almost, has nothing to, most people will see content and be like, why are people creating so much content? Well, it's because I want people to trust me before they make a decision to do business with me, right? Because when you do end up trusting me, guess what happens? Even if someone else is offering you a car that can get you from point A to point B, because for us, our businesses, we help people go from add an extra 50K to 100K one profit. Guess what? There are millions not millions, but there are hundreds of people offering the same mechanism transformation as me, right? But are they making more than I? No. Why? Because I'm starting to build a personal brand. People are starting to trust me more than they trust the other guys who are spamming you on Messenger, spamming you on Instagram, spamming you on LinkedIn, spamming you through emails, right? But I'm still gonna make more than them because I'm providing more value upfront to you, right? So that's you need to do the same thing as I'm doing, right? Create a YouTube channel, talk about your Facebook ad offer, talk about the mechanism, walk them through how to get a higher return on their ad spend, right? Second option is become a Porsche-like agency, right? Offer an experience, offer more complex mechanisms, right? Offer status, become the type of agency that people are happy or like they want to work with you, because when they say that, hey, I'm part of client acquisition at iOS community, I'll spend 5 figures, 15 grand to work with them. That automatically raises your status, right? Because not everybody can do business with us because it costs a lot of money, right? So our clients, like when they're part of the community, like it's like, oh shit, oh wow, like how did you get in, right? So like you need to figure out a way to be the company that people want to do business with, right? They want to work with you. You don't have to go out there, seek and try to sell and pitch a bunch of stuff, right? So become the Porsche of your industry, right? And you do so by introducing and having better talent on your team, right? A lot of people who are starting agencies are afraid to hire people, but the people are the people who create the systems. A lot of people think you can just automate and delegate your business without people. Well, who's going to create these SOPs? Who's going to build the process? Who's going to build the systems? It's other people, talented people, right? The goal is to get people fighting over you, fighting to do business with you, right? You don't have to do a lot of outbound when you've built something great, right? Before I got my C63S AMG, I actually went to the Porsche dealership, right? I wanted to get a 911, right? And they told me that I had to wait 2 to 3 years to actually get an application, right? And that's why I'm saying, like, Porsche does not have to go, they probably don't even have to advertise, right? Because people who know what the brand does, know what the brand does. Like, I'm not sure if you guys are into cars a lot, but you know that Porsche is a different league compared to other car companies, right? I'm sure there are other car companies that are great, Ferrari, Lambo, and all that good stuff. But people who do business with Porsche just know that Porsche is something different, right? So, literally the customers for Porsche compete with each other instead of Porsche having to compete with other car companies, right? And that was my whole goal with building client acquisition that area, is how can I build such an amazing service, thorough service, include everything that can be included, right? To solve my client's pain, to the point that people have to fight with each other to actually work with us, instead of me having to compete with another guru who's helping agencies or who's helping high-ticket consultants scale, right? And yeah, now what would I do if I was you? I just gave you those two options, either build a personal brand or build a really thorough service. I would do both, right? Because at the end of the day, you can't just rely on a personal brand to really scale. Because if your back end is really shitty, let's say, yes, on the front end you have amazing content, but on the back end you're just offering utility, or just offering people to go from point A to point B, then people are going to see it and they're going to churn, right? So for me, it's always, hey, build an amazing personal brand, put out content, get people to like you and want to do business with you. But also on the back end, amaze them with the quality of depth with your service, right? Take care of their content. Take care of their media buying, take care of their conversions, right? Take care of every single thing that would keep them from their advertising dollar from not giving them an extra 2, 3, 5x return, okay? And for me, understanding this has allowed me to build a business where right now at 24 years old, I make 6 figures a week. And 2 years ago, I was just making $30,000 a year. Okay, so hopefully this helps you understand why Facebook ad agencies are a little tricky. So it's not that Facebook ad agencies don't work. It's just that they're too simplistic. Like just saying that you offer media buying, like media buying is not a crazy art like that, witches, like only witches do. Like, you know what I mean? Like it's not like you don't need to be a magician to be good at media buying, right? It's a few rules that you need to follow. At some point, certain AI will be able to do media buying better than humans. So at some point, you won't even need media buyers eventually. You won't have marketing agencies or advertising agencies all for Facebook, right? Because a computer will be able to do what you can do better than you can do it yourself. Because a computer can be coded to like self-optimize itself based on a few rules, right? Faster than any human can evolve and can optimize, right? So my advice to you is, if you're going to push a Facebook ad agency, make sure you have the best talent on the team. Make sure you include as many mechanisms as you can to make it reasonable for your clients not to see a return on your media buying, right? So that includes what happens before the ads are run and after the ads are being run, right? You can't just offer like, hey, we'll do lead gen, we'll just spend money on ads and give you leads. That's a crazy, stupid offer, right? Because even the business owner can go on Facebook, give Facebook $10, target the 25-mile radius, put an ad in front of it and get leads. Like it's not hard, right? Stop charging $2,000 to just to click a few buttons. That's not an offer, right? So make sure you have amazing deliverables to your clients, because if you don't, like you're essentially are never going to scale. You're doomed, right? So, follow the path that I've followed. I've built the best scaling thing that exists, in my opinion, right? And build a personal brand, put out content, and make people want to come to you. Make people excited to work with you. Make people feel like, oh my God, I do business with X agency. I'm so happy to be part of their, to be giving them my dollars every single month, right? Instead of being like, oh, you know what, you didn't give me a 3x return. Oh, this guy can offer it for the same return for 3 times less, because that's the truth, right? A lot of you guys who are running agencies, you start helping this brand scale, and 2 months in, they're like, oh, when you start getting performance deals, right? When you start getting 5 figures from them a month, they start being like, you know what? Is there a way for you to reduce your retainer? Because we're getting pitched by these other basic ass agencies that they can do what you're doing for free, essentially, right? So don't start a Facebook ad agency if you know that you're not good at understanding what needs to happen before and after the ad is done, right? And building systems to make sure you can deliver on all these things. And don't launch a Facebook ad agency if you don't have a brand, right? As simple as that. Thank you. Hopefully this video wasn't too long, but that was what I wanted to share today. Have a beautiful day, guys. Bye-bye.